You ready?
Who the fuck are you?
I am the law. You ready?
You killed innocent people.
The means to an end.
You started a massacre.
I caused the revolution.
You betrayed the law.
You don't look ready.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Dreadful Cyber Punk-Cast. My name is Andy.
And I'm PK.
And this is a podcast where we read, react to, and review the original Progs of 2080's Judge Dredd. Specifically, this is episode 75 of our podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, we're three-quarters
of the way to 100.
I know, right? What are we going to do for our 100th episode? I don't know.
I don't know either. I didn't think we'd get past 10.
Today we're going for over
That's a lot of Judge. That's 30 Progs of Judge Dredd.
That's a lot of Judge Dredd. We are going to be doing, that's 300, because we've done 3 per.
No, episode 10.
Episode 10. Sorry, yes, you're right. My apologies. We're going over Progs 215, 216, 217 today. PK, I got to share some updates about Judge Dredd. I did something today and last night that I haven't done in over a year, which is that I read some new Judge Dredd.
Oh, shit. We're a little behind. Cause
I read ahead of where we are.
we're a lot behind.
I read up to where I know Judge Death is showing up.
Where I'm going to take the reins for a few episodes.
We're going to take the reins for an episode or two. I don't know how long, but I know they show up.
But the second appearance of the Dark Judges is more than one Prog.
Yeah.
Wait, was he in one Prog or two?
I believe it was.
I think he was a two-parter.
I'm going to pull it up real quick.
Regardless, the Dark Judges is a much longer arc than Judge Death's first appearance.
3 parts, in fact.
3 parts.
Progs
okay.
149, 150, and 151 was Judge Death Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3.
You are just a really good bureaucratist.
I wanted to keep notes. I wanted to keep good note taker. I'll take that. Bureaucrat. My thing that I did was I read up to the part where we know Judge Death is coming back.
Yeah, and other Dark Judges.
And other Dark Judges.
Judge Flimbo.
I don't think that's...
Judge Hamburger.
I'm not sure.
And Judge Pebble in your sock.
I think that those 3 specific judges you may be misremembering a little bit, but...
I think it's Fear, Fire, and...
Death?
Dark?
Maybe Judge Dark? I don't know. We'll find out. The important thing is, I read up to that point, and I can confirm for you that the Mega-Rackets that we're involved in right now, the organized crime, that butts up right against it.
Oh, wow.
And so we're going to be in Mega-Rackets until we are out of Mega-Rackets.
How many more Mega-Rackets do we have?
I did not count, but I will tell you, it's all building towards something. This is, in fact, an arc. It's not a bunch of mini-arcs. It is, in fact, an arc.
There's an overarching plot going on.
There is an overarching plot going on.
Because I don't see how the first 2 were connected. Well,
it's only connected by the fact that it's all
crime in Mega City 1.
Organized crime. So,
okay.
We're going to get some of these characters that we've met are going to come back around a second time, which is kind of cool.
All right.
Like the Jong family, Oogie Jong, and the Umpty Baggers we talked about last time.
We sure did talk about them, Andy.
We found out what happened to Uncle Umpty last time.
Dude, they were going to drill holes in his head
with an auger, with a hand drill.
The secrets would pour out.
The secret brain juice. It was... That man got the short end of a lot of sticks.
No man in Mega City 1 has suffered as much as Uncle Umpty.
Okay.
There will be more in the future, I bet.
I bet there's...
But right now, I think Uncle Umpty has suffered the most for doing nothing.
Well, he made 2 tasty
he made some really good candy.
PK, for those of you who can't see us, which is everyone,
I made the jerking off
gesture.
That earned him.
Yeah. He did not deserve the ending he got. But there was one thing you made a claim about, PK, last time. Do you remember the claim that you made?
I make a lot of claims, Andy. Some of them are true.
Last episode, you predicted that the Judge Cheney, the judge in charge of the Umpty Squad, specifically designated to take down Umpty Baggers, was the informant to the Jong family.
Yes.
And that today we're going to find out the truth of that or not.
Yep.
So,
I did make that. I made that guess.
We're going to have today... We are doing... Hang on a moment. 1 second.
Uh-oh.
Yes. We are figuring out what happened with the Umpty Rackets, right?
Yes.
That explains. I was looking at the wrong prog.
Oh,
That'll do it. So, we're going to figure out what happened with the Umpty-Rackets, the Umpty Baggers. Mm-hmm. That is our first prog.
that's our goal.
Second two
And
progs.
I had my guess that it was Judge
Cheney
Cheney.
was his name. He didn't shoot anyone in the face, but he thought about it. So we're going to finish. The first one is the Umpty Baggers,
Yes.
finishing that up, the two-parter. Then we're starting a one-parter, which is called... Well, I'll get to that. And then we're starting another two-parter that we're only going to get the first part of.
Okay.
So
That's
it's kind of
fine.
a little disjointed, but it's still going to be a good time. I
Yeah.
promise. So if you're ready, PK, unless you have anything you want to chime in about, I feel like I've been dominating the conversation.
No.
Okay, let's open up that prog, and let's get back. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so you know how we talked about right before we started recording?
Yes.
We both got back into Warhammer 40k in a way.
Because Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 came out,
Yeah,
and we're both excited to eventually play it.
Yeah, and
I have not played the
gotta
first one.
I beat most of Space Marine 1 on the PS3 when I was a baby.
Would you describe it as like a Gears of War clone, kind of?
There's no cover taking. I don't
Interesting.
remember that. I remember.
Interesting.
I don't remember it being a cover-based shooter, just a third-person shooter. But it's been a very long time, so I could very well be wrong.
Okay.
That being said, do you think there are cyberpunk... We've talked about this before.
What's that?
Cyberpunk aesthetics in Warhammer?
Oh,
We've
have
had this
talked-
exact conversation at least
We
twice.
have talked about this multiple times. The fact that people from 40k specifically ripped off Judge Dredd.
You're right. Let's not talk about it again.
No worries.
Every time I read or take in anything aside from, I could talk about this in my podcast, and I've done it 3 times.
We have recorded 75 episodes.
Oh my god!
There's more to come. Let's find out what happens here. Let's
Okay.
open our progs up. Now we have in the Mega-Rackets, next page, flipping over, because that's the last page
yeah,
right
yeah.
there. We're
That's
finishing
right.
up
I
the...
said this was Judge Cheney.
Yeah, on the phone is what you
Possibly. I don't
thought.
remember his face being that. Oh my god!
The lips.
I forgot the family.
The Oogie,
the
the
Jong
Jong
family.
Oogie Jong.
I forgot the fucking troll of a dad.
Yeah. We turn the page. We start off here with Umpty Bagging. PK, if you would read what Umpty Bagging is, just to remind the listeners.
Umpty bagging, the illegal manufacture and sale of addictive Umpty candy, which is just good candy. 22nd century medicology has permanently eliminated all known addictions except one. As yet, there is no cure for Umpty, which is just like really good candy.
It's just really good candy.
There's no
addictives.
addictive
It's the tastiest
ingredient.
taste that there is.
It's addicted in that you want to do it over and over again.
It's what's it called? It's like not
Serotonin?
It's habit forming, but it's not like
Yeah, like marijuana.
yeah. It's like that. You feel good. You miss the feeling of it, but it doesn't actually have any addictives to it. It's interesting.
Yeah.
So
Tobacco without nicotine, if such a thing is possible.
I don't
know.
That sounds like a why would you bother? You know.
Yeah.
But we pick up PK at the penthouse apartment of the Malcolm Allison block. Judge Dredd was leading the Umpty Squad raid, and Dredd we can see is busting in. There is an old couple making tea. PK.
Yeah, that is very British tea too. That is a very British tea time in my opinion.
Yeah, the pot looks very British. It is not like a typical American kettle.
Yeah,
kind of
they're
thing.
eating snacks and everything. That's
spoons.
a very British cuppa.
A very British couple. And Dredd has got his lawmaster up. This is a bust. Nobody moving, nobody gets hurt. And this kind of smiley couple are sitting there. As
Looks like
PK, what's happening in the
crazy
background?
old Maurice without a mustache.
Kind of. I can get to see that a little bit.
There must be some mistake. Well, what have we done?
What are these? What's going on in the background of this panel, PK?
Oh my god. I didn't even pay attention.
yeah, what's happening?
They are... Why do they have axes?
Because they gotta shut down this Umpty squad.
There are men, police officers, not judges.
Yeah.
'cause they have big pauldrons.
But they don't have the judge badge. They're not in judge uniform.
no badge, no mask, and they are destroying the entire house with axes.
They are.
There's 2 of them with axes just hacking at the walls.
Yep. Judge
As
Dredd
they carry on a typical casual conversation while just men
destroy your home in the background. So remember, in the last prog, Judge Dredd found out. Okay, there is Umpty being made at the
top of the one mega building
of the one city block,
city block,
and someone tipped them off.
right?
Dredd's heading there with the Umpty squad. Dredd is
someone tipped off the Umpty Squad.
Someone tipped off. No, someone tipped off the Umpty, or someone maybe from the Umpty Squad tipped off.
That's
the
right.
Jongs.
Someone from the Umpty Squad tipped off the Jongs.
So one of the guys in a helmet, who is clearly not a judge. He's not a judge.
He's like just a street level cop, I guess.
Or maybe city def. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, he could be one of the block city def. They have those
possibly
militias.
But the old guy saying, what have we done? What must be some mistake? The guy says to Judge Dredd,
"Looks like your informant was lying, Dredd. These old coots are harmless."
Yeah? How long you been on the Umpty Squad, Brent? Look at those insane grins. These old coots are Umpty addicts.
And PK, what's this insane grin going on?
Like a casual,
he's smiling,
awkward smirk.
That's just like the no-tooth smile. Like,
okay,
the guy's doing a no-tooth grin, like a no-tooth grin. That's it. He's
the most. Why are you touching me?
No, you can tell. No one should smile. No one ever smiles around me. I can tell they're
that's not an inane grin.
Inane grin. My apologies.
That's like a casual. How you doing, bud?
Hey, how's it going? Just trying to be polite.
This comic.
In the meantime, we got another guy shoulder checking a wall with an axe
while he chops at the wall.
And Dredd is
this guy is way too into it.
There are people here who just they're like demo people. They just like demo.
Come on, keep searching. The factory's here somewhere.
And the little lady is saying,
"Good heavens, please!
This lace fitting's moving." Hey. And sure enough, PK, if it's like it's the.
I love that pop out panel because it has nothing. It's okay.
Okay.
I understand comic making is one a week. Making a comic every week is hectic, and you have to move forward through the plot rapidly.
You got to move.
But there is nothing.
There's nothing wasted.
There is nothing containing these panels together other than this. Oh wow! Look at the thing we found.
It's just like we got cooking with oil. We gotta go. We gotta go.
We have 6 pages
and we're done. So there's a hand on like a light fixture.
Yeah.
And then suddenly we have a bunch of panels, like a large wall of mirrors that are like flipping. Yeah. A wall of mirrors sprang open.
Those? That looks like the most suspicious part of the house.
Maybe it'd be the two-way mirrors, guys. And there's, sure enough, between these mirrors, we can see like big old vats of smoke and shit.
Yeah, like a witch's cauldron and shelves of
a fucking Umpty meth lab.
Yeah. I was gonna say like a underground like a what are they called?
Apothecary?
No, when they make illegal booze.
Like
bathtub gin.
Oh, like who was like. Moonshiners?
Yeah,
what have
exactly, like moonshiners.
Yeah.
But like an Umpty meth lab works just as well.
As someone says, "We found it!"
This Umpty is 99.9% pure.
Remember, we do know that there is pure Umpty.
You're right.
There's kids who are buying Umpty back. There was pure Umpty,
They had that, That was that low-grade Umpty.
Yeah. The judges are now going through and they're looking through all these big, massive cauldrons, because that's the only way you can make Umpty candy.
It's a big witch cauldron, yeah.
Someone says
wasn't there something like you have to stir it 30 times in one direction?
34 times in one direction, yes.
What fucking Harry... That's right, we said it was Harry Potter potion making.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for this guy who's like looking over Judge Dredd's shoulder, kind of.
Huh, looks like we came on their day off.
Dredd thinks to himself, though,
or someone tipped off Oogie Jong we were coming. Those Umpty vats are still warm.
Dredd
as he puts his hand right on it.
Yeah, he's feeling that cauldron, and you know what?
Wait, this oven burner is really hot. The engine was used recently. Let me kiss it a few times.
Dredd's thinking with all cylinders, though.
Yeah.
A thorough search revealed no evidence to link the factory to its racketeer owners, the Jong family. And there's the city deaf guy. Probably isn't city deaf, but he's not judge either.
Right.
He's got
it's probably the Umpty Squad, whatever that's made up of.
Whatever that is. Probably Umpty Squad. But he's got an arm on each of these old folks who are just smiling, happy, and he says to Judge Dredd,
"These two will be happy to name the Jongs when the Umpty craving comes on."
That's why their evidence won't stand up. What we need to nail the Jongs is good, solid proof.
What?
And
the evidence won't stand because they'll be in withdrawal? Is that a thing?
Well, PK, that's a very good question. Maybe I can tell you that we're going to get a little bit more information on this just a second here.
Okay.
Dredd is thinking to himself with his fantastic chin jutting out of the frame.
That is a scowl.
Just a scowl.
And we won't get it while somebody's tipping them our every move. There's an informer in the Umpty Squad, and I've got a damned good idea who.
PK, we're going to find out more maybe.
Yeah.
That night, in the office of Judge Cheney, head of the Umpty Squad, we see Judge Dredd's face in his
scowling
glory, coming on the vid screen, and there's Judge Chaney, who we've already agreed Ron Smith loves to draw every bureaucrat in the
same
judges.
way.
It's the balding middle-aged man.
It
It's
is
the same
but
guy.
There's something. Okay, I look at the balding middle-aged man, and sometimes there's a little different. Like Judge Chaney does have like a nice square jaw, at least like a nice lantern jaw. Sometimes he draws him like kind of wimpy, like.
Oh yeah,
Like
the
who's that?
accountants.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
But
accountants.
this
the pencil
guy
pushers.
looks competent and corrupt.
He does.
He has
does.
like a little bit of. That Miyazaki, what made Dark Souls, said no matter how disgusting the enemy is, give them a little dignity.
some good quality.
Yeah,
I remember
and
that.
I can kind of see that in this guy.
Well, Judge Dredd's talking to him over the vid screen, and Judge Dredd says, Chaney, Dredd, I'm at the apartment in Malcolm Allison block. I've dug up some evidence on Oogie Jong. We've got him cold, Chaney. To which Chaney responds,
That's excellent, Dredd.
And there's something else. The name of the traitor in the Umpty Squad.
to which now he's getting a little shifty-eyed. Looking
Yeah,
out
he
the
looks a
corner of
little
his eye.
shifty, but he doesn't look nervous. So, good, cool composure, because it is him.
It is Judge Dredd.
A traitor, you say? Wait there, Dredd. I'll be right over.
I'll be waiting, all right.
Dredd thinks to himself as he's got
It's a
like a
switch.
main power switch he's switching off. And soon,
What is it to?
Well-
All the power in the building?
maybe we're going to find out.
I hope so, yeah.
Soon, we have the outline of Judge Chaney, we can tell because of his balding head,
Yeah.
is appearing in a doorway, a darkened doorway, lit from behind, and he's calling out into the darkness.
good panel.
It is a good panel.
It reminds me of old, like, Eastman and Laird TMNT stuff.
Wow. Go for it.
Dredd, where are you? What the heck's happened to the lights?
I switched them off.
Why would you do that?
What else?
What's the devil for? Where's this evidence? It was hard to. I thought it said Tim. I was like, who the fuck is Tim?
Don't worry, we're going to get to it. Not Tim, but we're going to get to the evidence and stuff.
There isn't any. Not yet. I was kind of hoping you'd bring it with you.
What do you mean by that?
As Dredd points his lawmaster right in the guy's face.
There's an informer in the Umpty Squad. Someone who told the Jongs where to find Uncle Ump. Someone who tipped them off every time a big bust was on. There's only one man in the position to have that kind of information. You, Chaney. I can't prove it, but I can tell you some lies and get you worried and see if you bring the Jong boys running.
So, he doesn't have any evidence.
No, but
he
he's
wants
gonna
to get everyone else involved.
Shake up a hornet. Oh god, what was it?
Kick a hornet's nest,
Let's
see what comes out.
out.
Yeah. And so, what does he do?
No, remember when we watched Brick and it was like,
God, it was so good.
What did he say that was really cool about I'm gonna raise some hell, you coming, or something like that?
Something like that.
It was
I can't
a really
remember
good
the
line, and I did not do it justice, but whatever.
It's a good line, but Dredd just fucking pistol whips Chaney. Just cracks him one
I
across
thought he
the
shot him
face.
through the fucking dome.
No. He takes the pistol,
And he just cracks him across the
cracks him
temple.
across the temple.
Okay, I thought that was like a bullet going through his head and coming out the other end.
No.
And I was like, Jesus, Dredd!
No, I got no evidence. Die, though. No, he's
I
not
thought he
doing that.
fucking domed him.
No. He's doming him, but just
So
with his
I
pistol.
kept like looking away from that panel because I didn't want to spoil it, but
Yeah.
I was like, shit.
I still reckon they'll show. If they don't, you've got me on an assault charge.
That's probably the line.
That's probably a line. I like the whole, I don't have any evidence, but, yeah, you got me on an assault charge. Whack!
Judge Dredd trusts his instincts because that's why he's Mega City 1's top lawman.
He's got good guts.
Yeah.
Or something.
Cojones.
He's got cojones. What's his name? Jackie would believe in that. Dredd's thinking, footsteps in the hall. And sure enough, a bunch of goons show up.
These are the most gooniest guys I've ever seen.
I mean,
there are 4 bald. Well, okay, that guy has hair. But
Here's
there
the
are
thing.
3 bald guys and one guy with some nice wavy hair.
I forgot to mention, this prog was released May 30th,
We
1981.
forgot to do the credit box.
Script by T.B. Grover, John
John
Wagner,
Wagner.
Alan Grant. Artist is Emberton, Ian Gibson. Notably, not the same guy who was in the last one.
You're right.
It was Ron Smith.
You're right.
So I think these are supposed to be the Jong brothers, and that because it's a different artist, they don't look anything alike. Because
yeah.
Ron Smith draws crazy people. Remember how
Yeah.
they looked? They looked like insane people. These are not the same people.
They
here.
had, I remember the one John was like,
Yeah, his eyes are all over the place.
he's
He
like
looked
cockeyed with this big fucking feral grin.
Letters also by Emberton, artist Emberton, letters by Tom Frame, T-Frame. But these, I think, are supposed to be the Jong brothers.
Okay.
I'm not certain of that. Maybe we'll confirm later. But one of them is saying,
No lights, boy. No lights. Use your torches, boys.
Right,
Torches.
Oogie?
maybe one of the brothers is Oogie. We don't know.
I thought Oogie was the... No, Oogie's not the dad.
Oogie's the dad. You're right. You're absolutely right. Maybe... That's very odd. Yeah, that doesn't make
The
any sense.
dad had a very distinct look. He looked like a fucking...
He looked like
a leprechaun troll.
He looked like a troll from like a...
He looked like the troll from Ernest Scared Stupid, but with one nose.
Wow, that is
a deep reference.
That's a deep cut, and I don't even know it. They all shine the lights. These goons turn their flashlights on, their torches, as of course they call it.
This is very British.
And
torches.
they see Judge Cheney conked out on the floor. It's Cheney! He's out cold!
Dredd must be here.
He is!
Another good line.
And PK, they turn their flashlights.
Oh my god!
It's just Judge Dredd. He's just standing there. He's just standing
He's
there.
sitting there
hands
against
on his
the
hips.
wall, saying, "Shoot me, why don't you?"
Yeah.
In the judge pose.
Yeah, and one of them says to him,
Don't move, lawman. We got you covered.
You got nothing, Augie.
Augie. Must be Augie instead of Oogie.
I don't know how to pronounce OGG.
I think it's Augie.
Okay.
Augie, accept a long term inside.
And Dredd is leaning close to a suspicious light fixture.
You're a mug, Augie. You've been set up.
Yeah.
You've been set up, and you still don't know it. Not to mention helping me squash the worm in the Umpty Squad. I suppose I should be grateful, really.
As Dredd flicks the light fixture,
You're right.
and the mirrored panels sprang open once again, intensifying the glare of the torches fivefold. My eyes!
Okay, that's a pretty cool like scene. I like when they do something clever in a shootout.
Yes.
Like, do you ever see the Born Identity? Mm-mm. Oh, this is part where like he makes sure that bad guys are coming, and what he does is he ties a flashlight, I think, to a fan that's going back and forth to make it look like someone's walking back and forth in front of the door, like someone's.
Oh.
And then like the guys shoot at the door, and then he's like behind them.
Oh,
I
interesting.
love clever shit in a shootout like that when you're outnumbered.
Well, I don't know if this is necessarily clever because they've got their guns on him.
It's shining their own light in their eyes by turning the lights out.
It's a trick. It's a gimmick.
I just like gimmicks. Okay,
That's fair. Well, PK, what does Judge Dredd do in response? Bottom left.
He fucking dives. Wow, Dredd.
He dives, all right.
That is a peach, my dude.
He kind of goes on all fours.
He crawls like a feral animal. He's doing a sexy pose.
He's going at him like an alligator. Like,
and he is popping that cake, dude.
I don't understand.
He is clapping without his hands.
I don't understand. We don't get much sexiness in this at all. Like,
but the sexiness we do get is from Dredd.
It's just Dredd, and we could rather do without it, honestly. But he is like
I ain't
diving.
Complaining, but
he's like diving on all fours, and his ass is just presented to us, the reader. And he's firing on these guys, and they're firing back.
But they're all blind, and he's taking them all out.
He's taking them all out because they're all blind, right? And Dredd gets the last shot on a guy as this big panel, and they might be stunned. No, the bullets are going through him. Holy shit!
Yeah.
The torch goes flying out of his hand, and Dredd, we can see this little pop-out panel. He's switching the main switch back to on.
Right. To look at the carnage has caused.
Augie Jong and the Umpty Squad traitor. I'd call that a good night's work.
Hands on his hips. He's dragging Judge Cheney by the lapel of his collar, though.
Come on, creep. You got an appointment with the penal colony on Titan.
Because all judges have to be on Titan. They're just too dangerous to imprison anywhere else.
Corrupt judges go to penal colony on Titan. You're absolutely
and they
right,
become
PK.
cyberfied.
I don't know. Maybe at least Rico did.
I think they have to live on Titan because there's no oxygen or something.
They talked about that, I believe.
Yeah.
Oogie Jong or Augie. Now it's double O. I swear to God, it's switching.
You're right. It is because it's Augie in the top on the top right of the list.
It absolutely is. Oogie Jong was dead. Dredd had won a victory, but the pernicious Umpty Racket run by the Jong family would continue to thrive as long as there were citizens with enough money for a 10 cred bag.
Another it's Chinatown ending. Another one.
And we cut outside the building, and sure enough, right outside that building, and a craving in their souls for that sweet, sweet stuff. As a bunch of kids are gathered around a shadowy corner.
Underpass.
And there's a shadowy man in the corner saying,
"Hey, want to buy some Umpty?"
The end.
Wow.
So, PK,
It's like
another
3 in a row where it's like that. Fuck.
So far, we have had the Body Sharks, we've had the Perp Runners, now we have the Umpty Baggers, 3 in a row, all with no real resolution in
Yeah.
them. Once again, the big fish swims away, right?
That's Mega City 1, man.
Mega City 1. let's talk about...
It's Mega City 1, Jake.
Let's talk about Prog 214, the Mega-Rackets 3, Umpty Baggers Part 2. So, settings and places, we have the Malcolm Allison block where the majority of the prog takes place. We already went over who Malcolm Allison was in the previous prog. He was named after a famous English football player. Characters, though, we have Judge Cheney, head of the Umpty Squad at the Umpty Clinic,
and the traitor,
and secret informer of the for the Jong family. Surprise, surprise! It was the one character we met. We have Oogie or Augie Jong, spelling depending. Boss,
looking very different.
We don't know if it's not the boss. It's clearly not the boss, because here's the thing. I know that they bring back the Jong family and the patriarch of it, who's supposed to be Augie or Oogie Jong, I forget.
So that's not Oogie.
That is not the patriarch.
Are there two guys, Oogie and Augie?
Maybe one of his sons is called Augie. If so, that is way confusing. But sadly, because the previous comic was drawn by Ron Smith, Ian Gibson here draws the characters of the Jong family completely differently, and which makes determining who's who kind of a real problem as well.
Right.
We also have Judge Brent, or just... He's not a judge, just Brent.
Just Brent.
He's part of the Umpty
Axeman.
Squad, you know.
He's just a hewer.
I'm gonna write that down. It's just Brent.
That's a medieval term for a man with an axe.
He's a
I know
hewer.
because I read that in one of the Gone with the Dragons, Game of Thrones.
Okay, there we go. Gone with the Dragons. Yeah. All right. That could be any fantasy book, but all right.
Gone with the Dragons, dude.
Not much in terms of items and technology of note. Terrible slang, though.
Cool. There was a cool
gimmick. Which I'll discuss.
Not an item of technology or no.
Yes. Terrible slang, made-up words, Judge Dredd one-liners. I like the line, "Look at those inane grins. These old coots are umpty addicts."
Hello.
You can tell because no one would ever be happy
right.
around Judge Dredd, you know.
He's addicted to something.
Monsters, turns out it was man. World building.
That's been like the last 3 progs.
Every time you get it, it gets you. I love it.
I love it, dude. I love Futurama.
World building. This prog continues the long tradition of Judge Dredd using a cute gimmick to blind his enemies.
That's right, because what was it? The sundown sniper, the sun gun.
I'm not going to go back to it. He has done this since the beginning of everything.
The episode was like the dusk sniper.
Okay.
Oh, and the Brotherhood of
Solar Sniper and the Brotherhood of Darkness.
Holy shit!
PK, yeah.
I like gimmicks.
It's the same gimmick. If it keeps working, why change it? You know? Fuck it. So, hear me out, right? In this prog, Judge Dredd tells us that any testimony given by a lawbreaker suffering from the effects of withdrawal is inadmissible in court. Can't use it in court.
Right.
Because they're suffering withdrawal. It makes sense, seems pretty fair. Until you think about the fact that in the previous prog, Dredd extracts the information for where this Umpty Candy Lab is
by the guy who he gives fake Umpty to.
From the guy named Fitchit, who they purposefully wait to interrogate until he is suffering from withdrawals of Umpty Candy, and then Dredd attacks a fellow judge without evidence, hoping that Judge Cheney would have tipped off the Jong family.
You'll get me on an assault charge, which is actually a pretty cool line.
Like, Judge Dredd has arrested fellow judges in the past for breaking the law in order to achieve an arrest. Remember Prog 195, Knock on the Door, where Judge Turpin obtained a confession by beating up a suspect.
Oh, yeah.
So, Dredd is not okay when individual freedoms are stepped on by other judges.
It has to be him.
But he is okay doing it himself. Kind of fucking hypocritical.
Yeah, pretty fucking hypocritical.
But, you know, I think he's getting a bit more of a loose cannon to him when it comes to this.
Yeah, it's becoming more in Justify the Means.
I kind of feeling like that because he's not getting the big fish, you know?
We are seeing his repeated, not failures, but like Zenigata
ineffectual kind of attempts to fix things.
Like Zenigata chasing Lupin. He'll catch the guys Lupin is after, but never catch Lupin himself.
Wow. I don't remember. I've only watched one Lupin movie, and that's it.
Castle of Cagliostro?
Cagliostro, yep, that's
good.
it. Very
that's
good.
Exactly what happens in that movie.
That's exactly what happens in that movie.
And that's exactly what happens in every Lupin movie.
Also, I will say, despite the art not fitting, good continuity writers for keeping the penal colony on the corrupt judges on Titan.
Good reference.
You get bonus points for that. Bonus points remembering that. And also, we have our third example of Judge Dredd winning the battle but losing the war.
And third in a row.
Umpty Candy lives on, man. It's going to be, I think it's probably part of, if you told me that Umpty Candy was still around today.
I would believe it.
I'd believe it. I wouldn't be surprised.
I would, yeah, dude, the canon.
The canon is insane.
Solid.
Death count. Augie, Jong, and his boys are gunned down by Dredd. That's 4 deaths this episode.
Right.
And Judge Cheney gets knocked out.
And sent to Titan. Which is a death sentence.
I mean, as much as an ISO cube for life can be.
Right.
But is there anything else that struck you about Prog 214 you want to talk about?
When I was a teenager,
okay,
I watched a lot of Lupin the Third because I had a crush on Fujiko.
Fair.
And I thought, man, why did they let this stupid detective go across the road and chase Lupin and never ever catch him? It's like a waste of money and resources. And then I realized, oh yeah, on his way, he's arresting so many other bad guys.
Yeah.
He's doing so much good.
He is getting good done, just not with Lupin.
Yeah, he never catches Lupin, but he's got like 300 other horrible people.
I don't know. I have not followed Lupin the Third. Is it Lupin or Lupin?
It's French. I think it's Lupin. They go back and forth like Augie and Oogie.
Lupin the Third.
Lupin the Third.
I've never watched the. I think I may have seen parts of episodes back when it was on Adult Swim.
Yeah,
and it was always only 1 or 2 episodes. You never saw a lot of anything, honestly, back then. I wish I could have got more continuity, but there's a shitload of it apparently.
Oh yeah,
right?
It's been running on and off since the 70s.
Holy shit, that's a lot of fucking Lupin. Is there anything else you want to talk about for this Prog?
No, I'm done talking about Lupin the Third.
Okay. Let's move along to Prog 215, the Mega-Rackets 4, the Blitz Agencies.
The Blitz Agencies.
This Prog came out June 6th, 1981. Script by T.B. Grover, John Wagner, and Alan Grant. Artist, we're back to Ron Smith, the guy who does really good faces. And letters by Tom Frame. PK, don't look at the right-hand side.
I put it clear because I saw a guy's face and didn't want to look at him anymore.
Read out, what are Blitz Agencies, PK?
Blitz Agencies. Blitz, Wipeout, Hit, Big Whack.
First sentence. You're burning through it.
I was good until Big Whack.
Big whack. Take a big whack.
There are 1,000 words for it. Contract murder. Amid the claustrophobic pressures of megacity life, where one citizen's frustrations often lead to another's death, there is a steady demand for this service. It is provided by the Blitz Agencies. So they're murderers for hire.
Yeah.
They're like,
Blitz Agencies.
We're getting ding ding. Who do you want us to? Who do you want to whack a guy off a guy or whack off a guy? Because I'm married.
It's a big whack, man. Keep going.
Rita and
no. Sorry, you didn't finish. Where one citizen's frustrations often led to another's death, there is a steady demand for the service. It is provided
by the Blitz Agencies.
Yes. Rita and Teddington Lumley.
Teddington Lumley?
Teddington Lumley. That's the name. We're a typical megacity couple. Poor housing, no jobs, no prospects, no future. PK?
And things were getting worse.
They're typical couple. Remember that. Typical couple.
That's a pretty dismal view of Megacity 1.
And also...
And accurate.
We've got a cool shot of an old world style building.
It does. It looks like fucking 1930s New York slums.
Yeah, there is clothing going out of windows on lines. And I believe it is the wife
There's
speaking
boarded
first.
up windows or blinders.
I'm going to have you speak for the wife first, then the husband goes.
I'm the wife?
Yes, of course.
The housing...
She is a young lady.
The housing committee are moving us to Mark Clark Block. That's even worse. That's an even worse slum than the one we're in. Why is the housing committee moving them?
Well, remember we had the housing committee previously.
They move an entire mega block from one to the other.
They can order people to move. That housing committee. Wow, that's kind of shitty, honestly.
Yeah.
That's the last straw. Our lives are so unbearable. We might as well end it all here and now.
Oh my god!
So, PK, it's kind of cut in the middle here, but this lady's got a crate. This lady.
What is she wearing?
What is she wearing, PK?
Like a 1960s mod.
She is wearing
patterns. Is that candy?
And a one-piece jumpsuit that is covered in shapes
and a cool big belt with big opals on it.
Yeah. The husband is encouraging her. Jump, Rita!
Yeah. Also, she is poised at a window to jump out a window.
Yeah, she's ready to jump out a window.
From the 4th floor up.
But she's saying,
I can't! And
she falls back into her husband's arms. She's a beautiful blonde woman. She's tearing up. And she says to him,
Oh, Teddington! It's no good. I just want it to be over, but I just can't face killing myself.
Neither can I. But don't despair, darling. There's someone who can do it for us.
PK. What's happening, this Prog?
He was telling her to jump and kill himself. He was like, but I can't do it myself.
No, I can't. I couldn't do it either.
God, they're fucking toddlers.
PK, they have no jobs.
No future, was it? No job, poor housing, no prospects, no future.
Yeah.
And things were getting worse.
So, PK, if you'll read the next panel, please, for me, please.
The Lumleys withdrew their life savings. A few days later, Teddington... I can't.
You can do it.
Teddington arranged a meeting with a man called Charlie.
No.
Teddington should get a better name.
He really should. It's not Mr. Nobody, but it's something. We have a long vertical panel of...
Yeah, these are all pretty long vertical panels. They're pretty cool.
This is not the usual... I mentioned this in the notes, but this is not the typical bubble-like sci-fi city
this is
we're
more...
seeing. This
realistic,
is typical realistic...
Noir sci-fi?
Yes, I would agree with that. Teddington is sitting on a curved bench with these weird geometric fractal statues.
To me, it looks like
geodes.
It looks like they're in a public place.
Yes, agreed.
This is like a park with weird art.
Teddington is sitting next to a guy. He's handing over a briefcase full of what we can assume are credits to a man in a fedora and a trench coat
and a future suit under it.
If you want to read for this guy, Charlie, PK, give him a cool voice.
You want a blitz done on yourselves, huh? Unusual, but as long as you're paying.
Do it suddenly, when we're least expecting it. That way we won't have to be afraid. Won't have time to be afraid. And we're going to zoom in on this guy's face, PK. And what's going on here?
He looks like a lizard.
He has got, cracked, dry, desert-skinned face with, weird pupilless eyes and shit.
Like milky white blind pupils and...
It's creepy looking.
I don't like him very much.
He's got a line here. Go for it, Charlie.
You realize there can be no further contact with my agency. Once the Blitz contract is accepted, you're as good as dead.
As he takes the bag full of credits. So,
grinning
PK,
maliciously.
This young couple, beautiful couple, they're paying a man to kill him.
They paid because they lack the courage to do it themselves. And there's nowhere to go in Mega City 1 but down.
So, let's see what happens next, PK.
Oh my god, I bet. I have...
What's your prediction?
Now, I keep the book here, so I can't read ahead.
Yeah, you can't read ahead.
I do that on purpose. I have a guess that Lucky's it's going to start going their way. If they're going to win the lottery, they're going to go on what's the game show?
Oh, there's a million game shows we've seen.
What's the one where you could win a million...
Sob Story.
Sob Story!
Wow, I was right there with you.
Yeah, I was going to go on Sob Story and win a million credits and get to the big penthouse in the sky and I warned ya, and shoot them. I think it's going to be a long, Pet the Shaggy Dog story, where everything goes their way and they're very happy for a week, and then the guy in the end of The Departed, spoilers for The Departed, he just dies at the end.
Let's find out. Turn that page and read that lines we got here.
Ironically, from that... God damn it!
PK, it took us one page turn to get here.
It took one sentence!
Go for it. We got to cook. We can cook it. We're cooking.
Ironically, from that moment, the Lumley's luck took a turn for the better!
And this is the wife speaking here. Retta, go for it.
It's another letter from the Housing Aid Committee. They've made a mistake. It's the Sir Kenneth Clark. I don't know who that is. Block. We're being moved into, not Mark Clark.
Hey, not bad. That's in that ritzy new Up City development. So we're gonna find out who those guys are. Mark Clark and
Sir Kenneth Clark.
Yeah, Sir Kenneth Clark. But their luck's already turned around, PK.
Yeah, it took one sentence for that, everything, and then they're gonna die.
There was a letter for Teddington too. They are both looking at this letter next to a nice window. Remember that job I applied for as a knee pad grader?
Fuck me.
I got it!
Knee pad grader?
PK, put a pin in it.
What's with the fucking knee pads?
We can't go an episode without knee pads, man. Everyone's it's the future. Everyone has knee pads.
Oh, Teddington, your name is stupid.
No.
Oh, Teddington, there's a bright future in knee pads.
You're absolutely right, wife of mine. That's not what she's saying. She leans in to kiss him and give him a little smooch.
Darling, suddenly life seems worth living again.
But suddenly, a super close-up on Teddington's face as he gets shot from the fucking window.
Oh.
Teddington's falling body knocked Rita out of the way of the second bullet as it whizzes by the window. as she's wearing that same fucked up,
That same outfit.
weird ass,
That one piece
geometric
60s
jumpsuit.
It looks like what the fucking girl wore in The Spy Who Shagged Me, but with legs instead of a dress.
I will give you that. It looks very 60s.
It's very 60s mod.
Yeah, very much. She says, as she's holding her face,
The Blitz Agency! Oh, mercy, no!
and we look much more dramatic than that, maybe. There's two men who are not Charlie on the opposite building across from them on a roof, and they have, like, guns and bags.
They're like assembling and disassembling a sniper
rifles.
rifle.
Couple rifles, yeah.
Sniper rifle.
Sniper rifles.
Sniper rifle.
One of the gentlemen's ball has a mustache, says, "Blast! I missed the woman!"
There's more ways...
PK?
I just like, okay. There's more ways than one to fry months. Let's scram before we're spotted up here.
PK, yes, you stumbled
Months.
over one of my favorite lines.
There's
more than one
ways
way to
than
fry
one-
months.
There's more ways than one to fry months.
Like, we're back to months. We can't go without it now.
There's more ways, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
But there
are no cats in the future.
The next prog we read is gonna be like, hey, you want your knee pad full of months? Like, that's what it's gonna be. That's what we're gonna get to.
Here's your Titan issue knee pad for months.
Yep. We cut back to Rita now. Rita's Lumley's urgent call to the Justice Department brought Judge Dredd to the scene. And Dredd is there. We got like the back shot of him. He's got his hands on his hips talking to Rita. In the background, we have Judge Lowe and a couple other judges looking at the crime scene and the dead body of Teddington.
That guy has some fucking, not Low, but the other judge in the foreground.
He's got some fucking five head
He has
going
some
on.
eyebrows,
He's
dude.
got some eyebrows.
He has some big bushy caterpillars.
Dredd is saying to her, "So you took out a Blitz contract on yourselves, then changed your minds. Little late for your husband. Who made contact with the agency?"
Teddington, he did everything. I don't know anything about it.
And now
Then
Dredd...
What's that?
how does she know that's what's going on?
Well, he would have told her, but he's the one
but
who
she said,
made-
I don't know anything about it.
He doesn't know what agency,
I see.
who was contacted.
I thought it was like she didn't know anything about it. But
When
then
it's
how do you
supposed-
know that
when
could
it's
just be
supposed to
a
happen?
mad sniper?
Yeah.
Because we've seen that before at Mega City 1. Insane snipers with solar rifles.
Solar sniper, holy shit.
We've seen people just, I got a gun, I'm going to start shooting people.
I mean, I got this gun. I'm not going to shoot people.
We're going to rob, what was it? We're going to rob this bank for a laugh?
That was a thing. That was a thing.
We're bored.
Remember, the suction gang.
Oh my god.
That was a thing.
I remember the suction gang.
Dredd is thinking to himself, usual story. Nothing to link...
What? If I had a dime, I've never heard this one, I'd be a millionaire.
Typical people taking out hits on themselves every day, it seems like.
Every day, two...
Usual story. Nothing to link the Blitz agency to the killing. But at least this time we know who the next victim's going to be. We can nail the Blitzers. Now, PK, Dredd is like pointing down at Retta.
Yeah,
like,
that is
judging
the
her.
supreme.
The very supreme. You're guilty of conspiracy and a Blitz agency murder. That's 15 years in an ISO cube, unless you cooperate with me to trap your husband's killers.
Anything. I'm frightened, Judge Dredd. I don't want to die anymore.
A
You
forensics...
know my husband died, and the other half of the good news of him getting that good job is now gone.
Oh, yeah. You don't get a job as an EPAD grader anymore.
Right.
Yeah. In the background, the judges are taking pictures with an old-timey camera.
Oh my god.
Forensic squad was examining the body, as one of the judges is saying,
Clean shot with a standard slug. No clues here, Dredd.
you see Judge Johns, in
Judge
fact.
Johns.
Hey. But on the background, on the other side of the panel, Dredd's looking over to see Retta talking to a bellhop or someone like that. Guy's saying to her,
It's a FedEx man.
yeah, like a FedEx guy. Go for it.
Special delivery for Mrs. Rita Lumley. Is this fucking you've seen Smiling Friends? Fucking Mip.
Mip.
With this goddamn bomb. He's sitting there.
PK, keep going. What's Rita say as she opens the package?
Probably more good news.
What was that?
More good news.
Yeah, as she looks
As she's
glumly.
sobbing.
Yeah, she looks on at this. But Dredd takes the package and hurls it out the window.
That is like a football player tackle and throw,
yeah,
too.
that is like a fucking Heinzman throw.
That is a fucking trophy pose,
He says,
Dredd.
"Don't open that!"
It's a bomb.
Sure
It is-
enough, they heard the package explodes with a boom. And Dredd is already running, already moving.
When did you last see a delivery man? That's robot work. It's the Blitzer.
Well, why didn't you fucking do it earlier, Dredd?
He had to take care of the bomb.
You're right.
He had to take care of the bomb, you know? But he goes out into the hallway, these judges are like looking by. PK, right here, we can see it's Judge Giant looking at him, in fact.
Oh, shit!
We haven't seen Judge Giant
in a
very long time, in fact. But Judge Dredd gets out into the hallway and shoots the bellhop or the delivery man right through the fucking heart. Two of them! And one of the guys, there's a second guy there.
That's right.
He says...
He got Salinas.
Something like that.
Saltine. Gotta get out of here.
Maybe not Saltine. Dredd... guy must have been near the elevator, because Dredd is like near the elevator. He's got an old hand radio. All units, vicinity, Grover Cleveland block. Close all exits.
Oh.
Perp on the run.
Wait, Grover?
President.
Yeah.
I'll give you a rundown on him. Soon on the ground floor, that guy who said, not Salinas, because Salinas is now dead. He's hopping out of the
He's like
elevator.
a funny skid, like in Wind Waker, if you're running on ice,
and you
do a 180 completely, you fall down.
It's when the mystery gang has to come to a screeching halt, that kind of thing. He looks and sees
Judges!
Judges are in the background, of course, coming towards him. And one of the judges, I think it's Dredd, shoots his gun out of his hand.
Yeah.
You're trapped, creep. And the guy says to him,
you know you'll never take me alive, Dredd.
You citizens, run! Because there are citizens around in the lobby.
Right.
This man's a walking bomb!
As Dredd tackles like 5 guys to save their lives.
And what happens to the bad guy?
That man explodes.
He explodes, PK.
Violently.
PK, if you want to read the next description here going on, please and thank you.
All agency blitzers had emotion-sensitive self-destruct devices implanted in their bodies. Suicide boxes.
Remember this, PK?
What fucking...
Do you remember this?
What? Yeah.
We had the mob blitzers from a long time ago. When there was Loose Lips Lazarus.
That's right.
And the guys, they have emotion-sensitive boxes. The second they feel captured, they explode.
What fucking Hunter, I'll see you in hell, little ant bullshit is this?
Dredd is looking at the smoking, smoldering corpse of this dead man, thinking to himself, as soon as their brain registers the fact they're captured, they blow. That way, that's why the racket bosses make sure nobody's left alive to do any talking. Back in the Lumley apartment, Dredd's entering the room, and Rita's there, hands near her face. Dredd saying to her, it's a point of honor for the agencies never give up a blitz. They'll try again. When they do, we'll be waiting. To which she responds,
You mean I'll spend the rest of my life hiding from those killers? No, I couldn't stand it. I'm guilty of conspiracy to murder. 15 years, you said? Take me away, Dredd. I demand to serve my sentence.
As in the foreground, we have the
Dredd already has his cuffs out.
Got his cuffs out.
I was gonna.
As Dredd is leading her away in cuffs, she
Into
says,
the paddy wagon. At least I know I'll be safe in an ISO cube.
The end.
Again, it's a very big fish gets away.
Another one. Okay, we are picking back up, and we're going to discuss Prog 215, the Mega-Rackets 4 Blitz agencies. So, settings and places for this Prog, right?
Mega City 1.
Mega City 1, but specifically we mentioned the Mark Clark block.
The Mark Clark bar.
Which is...
Mark's bars.
Alright, focus up.
Mark Clark Bark.
Nope.
Block!
Mark Clark Bark.
There's another Clark, and that's messing me up.
Mark Clark block. That's easy for you to say. So it's apparently a very derelict slum of a city block in Mega City.
Oh no, it's not the Mark Clark block. There are the blocks of 2 others last name. Same last name.
Sir Kenneth Clark block.
Sir Kenneth Clark.
But Mark Clark is the one that they thought that the two
the housing committee said they were moving to.
The Lumleys thought they were moving to. So I looked up Mark Clark.
I don't know any of these names.
Mark Clark is... I understand why not, but here's why I'm pretty sure who it's referencing.
Mark Clark Bark.
No, not Mark Clark block. But so it's Mark Clark. Due to Alan Grant's healthy distaste for government overreach and injustice, I am guessing that this is a reference to Mark Clark, born June 28, 1947, died December 4th, 1969. He was an American activist and a member of the Black Panther Party.
Oh!
He was killed on December 4th, 1969 with Fred Hampton, state chairman of the Black Panthers, during a Chicago police pre-dawn raid. In January 1970, a coroner's jury held an inquest and ruled the deaths of Clark and Hampton to be justifiable homicides. Survivors and the
You mean
relatives
the
of
police investigated themselves and found out they had done nothing wrong?
Survivors and the relatives of Clark and Hampton filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the city of Chicago, Cook County, and the federal government, specifically the FBI. It was settled in November of 1982.
20 years later.
Roughly, with each entity paying $616,333
To his descendants?
to a group of 9 plaintiffs. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but still,
20 years later.
I'm guessing that's who, like, Alan Grant would name something after because
Yeah.
he's a big activist.
He is.
So that makes sense for me.
I'm not gonna lie, I like the Black Panther Party. No, have you ever seen the SNL skit? There was like, they were talking about like the Second Amendment, like, oh, there was, okay.
Was this are you sure it was SNL or was it comedy, the College Humor?
It might have been College Humor.
It was
like
College Humor.
The Black Panther guy comes up and says,
Yeah.
I agree. They should not be of the police who owns guns. The two of the guys like,
That's College Humor.
I don't know about that.
Where are you from? That sounds like a background check.
That's like a background check to me.
Yeah, that is College Humor.
I fucking love that skit.
That is absolutely College Humor. Settings and references, we also have the Sir Kenneth Clark City Block, which is described as a more ritzy up-city development. Sir Kenneth Mackenzie Clark, not Michael Clark Duncan, we are talking about Sir Kenneth Clark. So is Kenneth Mackenzie Clark, Baron Clark, was born July 13th, 1903, died 21st of May, 1983, was a British art historian, museum director, and broadcaster.
So, if he likes civil unrest so much, why would he name the slum after Mark Clark?
Oh.
It just could it just be a reference? I'm looking too deep into it.
Possibly.
Yeah.
At least they named something after him.
Yeah.
After running 2 important art galleries in the 1930s and 40s, became a wider public notice on television, presenting a succession of programs on the arts during the 1950s and 60s, culminating in the Civilization series in 1969.
Okay. I was thinking of the computer games.
Not the Civilization
That came out like the 80s or the 90s.
We also have the Grover Cleveland block.
President Grover Cleveland.
The slum city block that the Lumleys live in currently.
Right.
So Stephen Grover
Lots
Cleveland.
of name drops this episode.
3 different places.
Yeah,
So
that's
places
true.
and
Yeah,
names.
it's true. It's about moving.
March 18th, 1837, died June 24th, 1908, was an American lawyer and politician who served as the 22nd and 24th President of the United States from 1985 to 1989, and from
1985. That was Reagan years.
1889, and 1893 to 1897.
Was 85 to 89 Reagan years? Who cares?
Something like that. Cleveland is the only president in American history to serve 2 non-consecutive
Executive
terms.
term. That's right. There was a term breaking up in the middle by. Was it Cleveland? Who was it? Fucking Roosevelt.
Oh, dude, don't ask me these things.
Okay.
He won the popular vote for president 3 presidential elections in 84, 88, and 1892, and was one of the 2 Democrats followed by Woodrow Wilson in 1912 to be elected president during the era of Republican presidential domination dating from 1861 to 1933.
Wow.
In a 1905 article in the Ladies' Home Journal, Cleveland weighed in on the women's suffrage movement, writing that the sensible and responsible women do not want to vote.
Oh my God.
The
Cleveland,
relative
shut the fuck
positions
up.
to be assumed by men and women in the working out of our civilization were assigned long ago by a higher intelligence. That's a Democrat for you back then.
Yeah, that's that before the switch.
I don't know if it's before the switch or not. I don't know when the switch happened exactly.
I don't.
But
I forgot
still,
about it.
you ever watch those old movies where
It
it's
was
like,
around Jim Crow times. So before this.
Okay. I don't know before this or not. Jim Crow.
Suffrage was after Jim Crow.
I know Jim Crow was after suffrage, but I forget
No.
exactly what the timeline is because I'm
Okay.
bad at history. You know more than I do.
I like history. I've in the movie The Great Race, which is in the 1930s. There's a lot of suffrage subplots. Also, The Great Race doesn't. It's about a race, a car race, not
Yeah.
about. You
Yeah,
look at
yeah.
it like The Great Race, Patrick.
I'm thinking of Rat Race, the movie.
Oh.
Go on.
It's just there's a big suffrage subplot in the newspaper, and I like that movie a lot. It's got Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon. We'll have to watch it someday. It's one of my favorites.
I did not know this. I know we've talked about the Great Race.
Yeah,
before.
it's
We
like
have.
it's got like Ray Leslie.
Leslie Nielsen.
No,
I don't know who Great Leslie is.
he's
then.
played by Tony Curtis. His character in the movie.
Anyways, characters for this issue. We have Rita and Teddington Lumley. Need a better name. A young couple who are down on their luck and incredibly stupid. I think we can both agree on these two.
Oh
things.
yeah.
Charlie, a contract for the Blitz agency. He
Which
looks
is just-
cool as hell with a scaly face and haunting eyes.
Yeah.
He looks like he's
I
like
wonder if
been
he's a mutant?
modified. Maybe.
Or maybe he's got surgery.
Face construction surgery, maybe.
What's ugly? Ugly?
Uglification.
Uglification.
Yeah, possibly. He didn't look ugly. He just looked different and weird and creepy.
He looked a little ugly. He looked like he had lizard scales.
We have Salinas, one of the blitzers who try and kill Rita Lumley with a bomb.
Right, the first one that got killed.
We have Judge Lowe, who helps with the Lumley murder crime scene.
And Judge Giant!
And Judge Giant!
Who doesn't say or do anything.
Just in there for a fraction of a page. That's it. That's all he's there for. Items, technology of note. If you recall correctly, PK, we have had mention of blitzers and their suicide boxes before.
Yes.
Way back in Prog 130, Dredd and the Mob Blitzers, where Dredd is tasked with protecting the severed but still living head of a mob informant, Joe Lips Lazarus. Dredd gets the mobsters to think that their boss, Hammer, has cut a deal with the judges, which causes the blitzers to pause long enough for their suicide boxes to go off.
Right.
Incredibly stupid. This technology is just as stupid the first time that we introduced it.
I think you mean awesome.
But good on the writers for keeping this around. Props as always for continuity. More bonus points for sticking around with this dumb idea.
It's like actually the clip from Hunter x Hunter with the poor man's rose.
The poor man's rose. Not one I'm familiar with. Terrible slang, made up words, Judge Dredd one-liners. Blitz means to wipe out, hit, big whack. All synonyms with contracted murder. Big whack. I love it. You can take a big whack at it, you know.
It's what I mean, I saw all the Sopranos like in the last year. I was like, yeah, I'm a blitzer. I'm in the business. I'm a blitzer. I'm in the life.
I'm a whacker guy.
I'm a big whacker.
You got another line? There's more than one way to fry months. Yeah. Another months reference. They just keep coming. And I love how, in response to Dredd learning that a couple have taken out a contract on their own lives, he thinks to himself, usual story. Like, that shit. I heard it a million times. Tuesdays, every time. This happens all the time. It kills me. I love it. It's fantastic. Monsters.
Drug dealers resisted.
Looks like you went through it. Monsters, turns out, is world building. The buildings we see, the Lumleys living is clearly not a city block, right?
You're right.
It's a regular sized building.
We've seen people live outside city blocks before in Mega City 1.
We absolutely
We've seen
have.
it even as recent as the movie Dredd in 2015.
In fact,
not in the movie itself.
It looks much more like an old world building, and Ron Smith tends to draw Mega City 1 much more like a typical modern day city than the crazy bubble buildings we've seen in the past.
Yes.
I would be happy for us to eventually settle on a middle ground somewhere in the art styles, or get an explanation that, hey, certain parts of Mega City 1 are still old world and certain parts are new stuff.
That's how I think of it. I think of it as you look at Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
There are big mega blocks people live in.
Yep.
There are neighborhoods in between them.
Oh yeah.
To me, that's Mega City 1. There are both. There are big buildings and there's infill in between.
And there's the fucking old world
stuff.
Because
who's that one gang? The America First gang. The
66th Street.
Yeah, they live in those like nice little suburbs.
Yeah.
And there's also like the people out in the farmlands and stuff
yeah.
like that. So to me, that's how I picture it. Is like there are about, I want to say, well, in
old
Mega
world
City,
and new world stuff.
Yeah,
I get that.
I want to say, I don't know how many mega buildings there are, but I would say over 100.
I mean, are we
in
talking
Mega City
Night
1.
City or Mega City 1?
Mega City 1. In Night City, it's something like 20.
There's something like that. I don't know how many there are in Mega City 1, but there are quite a few so far we've seen.
Yeah. But in do you remember when we watched Dredd?
Yes.
2015. We saw that little featurette of Mama before when.
You're absolutely right.
She lived outside of a mega building in like a suburb.
Yeah.
Or not a suburb, but like
regular buildings.
Yeah.
You see regular buildings around the giant peach trees.
So yeah, so I think even as recent as Dredd, which is in my mind, no, that's not. I almost said that's the latest Judge Dredd media to come out, but they've had a comic book running.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
but it's the latest
live action,
like
film.
Big,
yeah.
Latest Judge Dredd media that's not a comic book, as far as I know, to come out.
Yeah.
That is still the case in my mind. That it's Night City, big buildings and little buildings.
I agree with this idea. World building. We also learned that Blitz agencies are effectively hired killers within Mega City 1.
Right.
Anyone can kind of hire them if they need to.
Like the real world, you can just hire a contract killer.
Real easy. You just go look them at the yellow books.
Well, don't do that.
Look for waste disposal. Holy shit! We get another. We get another joke about knee pads, with Teddington getting a job as a knee pad grader.
I love these knee pad jokes.
Apparently there's a bright future in knee pads, If this joke had a knee pad for every one of its legs, it would have too many knee pads because there's too many knee pad jokes in this goddamn comic.
What is with knee pad?
How do
I
we
got to
grade-
know.
How do we grade knee pads? What is a knee?
I
What do you think
assume,
that job is?
I mean, people you look at pants like instructed by Instructor 298 or whatever. I assume takes a knee pad, squeezes it, bangs it on the table, it's a good knee pad, and pass, and puts it back on the
his
conveyor
job.
belt.
And is he doing the thing where he's 1 out of every 1,000? Do you think? Or is it every single one?
There's so much need for employment in Mega City 1. I think they have 100 on the conveyor belt, and he grabs
And the rest are done by robots.
Yeah.
He's the DEI hire for humans.
Oh my god.
That'd be so sad.
But speaking of robots and human jobs, there was a human delivery man.
And they
Judge was
mentioned that. It's a robot job.
That's not delivery.
I actually have that as my next note.
Sobs. Probably more good news.
Probably more good news. That's another good line. We know that conspiracy to commit murder is punishable by 15 years in an ISO cube. We learn that delivery men are outdated and typically robots are used for these kinds of jobs. Makes sense.
When Judge Dredd was a janitor, a street sweep.
Street sweep, yes.
A street sweep.
That was mostly robot work.
Yeah.
Right?
Imagine being a human when all your coworkers are robots.
It would be there'd be less drama, I think.
There'd be less drama, but it'd be lonely.
I guess, unless you're one of those people who can chat with ChatGPT and be like, yeah, what's up?
Like Alex Jones?
Like that one how he has to listen to what Alex Jones every now and then. I think it speaks wonders to the Megaverse judicial system that a young woman is willing to go to prison because she knows she will be safe there.
In an ISO cube?
I wish our prisons were so safe.
Same.
Then again, they are in isolation, which is typically not good for you.
I have heard different things about different prisons. I've heard maximum security prisons, very unsafe.
Yeah.
I've known people in medium or minimum security prisons, pretty safe. There's no one gonna shank you over a biscuit. But,
it depends
but
on the prison.
you see that 3 Days In show.
I've never seen 3 Days In.
30 Days In.
Never seen 30 Days In.
Oh man, they just have a guy go to the toughest prison and try to survive.
Are you serious? That's a real show?
Yeah, dude.
That fucking
They are
sounds like it
making
sucks.
reality TV show about the American industrial prison complex.
They already have Orange is the New Black.
That's
I mean,
that's a medium security prison too.
Oh man, I didn't know that. And cutting back to the Prog, yet again we have another Prog where Dredd isn't able to solve the problem. Rita chooses an ISO cube in order to protect herself. The Blitz agencies live to kill another day. I am liking this tone.
I am too. I'm getting a little tired of it. I kind of wish they had sprinkled it around instead of being in a row.
Well, I have spoiled this for you.
You said it's building towards something.
It is building towards
I think
something.
these 4 guys that have gotten, we're going to team up and Judge is going to take them all down.
Ooh,
But
interesting.
I can't say that for sure.
I mean,
It's just
fine.
a hypothesis.
Here's the thing. If there's
That's just a
anything,
theory.
That's just a Dredd theory. I am all about you making guesses on stuff. So keep making guesses on stuff. That's a good thing. Death count for this issue. Teddington Lumley was killed by the man who paid to kill him.
That's right. He just fucking died.
He killed by the man he paid to kill him. I paid you money to kill him.
God, I
and he
called
got
it
killed.
too. I was like, oh yeah, things are going to turn around, right? Because
Turn the page. Next
That's
sentence.
the fucking story.
That's the whole story, yeah. Salinas, one of the Blitzers who is shot through the heart by Dredd after he tries to bomb a hotel room full of judges. Holy shit, wait a couple hours.
Yeah.
Wait an hour or two.
Don't just come and get you are out at the window. You can see the crime scene.
Yeah, there are judges there. Don't do that shit. Another unarmed Blitzer explodes due to an emotion-sensitive self-destruct device planted in his body, which we've already agreed on is a terrible, terrible method of controlling your workforce.
Yep.
That is a hard sell.
Now, if you're going to kill the king of the Chimera Ants, and you're an amazing martial artist, sometimes you'll put a nuclear bomb in your heart.
This is, once again, a reference to Hunter x Hunter that I know. That I know nothing about Hunter x Hunter.
If your name is Isaac Netero.
Oh my god. Is there anything else you want to talk about for Prog 215, PK?
No, it's pretty open and shut. It's Chinatown, Jake.
It's Chinatown.
It's Mega City 1, Dredd.
In which case, we're going to move on to the next Prog, PK. And we're going to move
the
on.
first part of a 2-parter.
First part of a 2-parter. Now, here's the thing. Do not open that page, because we're going to first play
The wet sticky page?
Our new game.
Already? Before Prog 3?
This is why. I'll get to it, okay?
Okie dokie, artichoke.
So, This Prog 216, the Mega-Rackets 5, Psychos Part 1, was released June 1st. Don't get ahead of me.
Not Cyber Psychos.
Don't get ahead of me. Date was released June 1st, 1981.
If they have Cyber Psychos in Dredd 40 years, 20, 30 years before it's Cyberpunk.
We're going to find out. Script is by T.B. Grover, John Wagner, Alan Grant. Artist, Barry Mitchell, which I don't know if we've had before.
I can remember.
Letters are unknown, probably by Tom Frame. He does everything. But
Yeah.
PK,
All right.
we have recorded over 75 episodes of this podcast.
Yay!
And we have read right up to now, 215 progs of Judge Dredd.
That's more than anyone else in the entire world.
But I would like to try something new here. Now, PK, no, other people have read a lot more.
Call me on that.
Other people have read a lot more than we have. The average Judge Dredd fan has read way more than we have. We're crawling through this shit.
Okay. That's more than any other podcaster the entire... I can't even say that.
No, that's not even
No,
true.
because I've seen podcasters.
They break it down into eras, and they go over that. We're going through the minutia. We're doing it line by line, dude. It's not fair. But here's the thing: not every prog of 2000 AD has a Judge Dredd cover. Because it's an anthology.
Yeah, that's right.
So as we know, 2000 AD is an anthology of science fiction comics. But this time, for this issue, we do get a Dredd cover.
For this prog coming up.
This particular prog.
And you have a picture of it.
So what I'd like you to do, PK, is after I show you what the cover of this prog is, I would like you to give me your best description of what you're looking at.
Oh my god.
And then, if you would, please tell me what this prog is going to be about.
If I see one chimp,
remember
I see one ape,
that
I am quitting the podcast.
We are still dealing with
the Mega-Rackets.
Mega-Rackets, organized crime.
You said it was called Psychos?
Okay, it is called Psychos. PK, this is our new game.
Like
it is called Tell Me What Happens.
Oh my god.
So PK, I'm gonna have you look at this.
Okay, what the
What are we looking at?
We are looking at a spaghetti monster being served by a waiter who's one of the Mario Bros.
What does it say, PK?
It says, the synthetic men are out to get you.
So, it's a spaghetti man.
Yeah.
That's coming out from
synthetic spaghetti, yeah, I get it.
PK, what is this? This is organized crime. What is this? What is happening in this prog?
I'm trying to come up with a down-to-earth, any idea for a plot that makes sense.
Okay.
And the best thing I can think of is... I wanted to say, my first thing... Okay, I'm not going to overthink it.
Okay.
Because that's where I go wrong. I'm going to go with my first gut instinct, and that is going to be... I think there's going to be... Is someone going to put drugs in someone's food, and he's going to hallucinate... That doesn't make it. How's that a crime racket?
You need organized crime here. Organized crime.
It's just like a like, you know, Noonan's Bar from DC Comics. It's a famous bar where a bunch of villains live.
Oh, it's the bar with no name.
Yeah. Where a bunch of villains drink in Gotham City. There's a place called Noonan's. Is it just like a restaurant where? But that doesn't make any sense. Why would
What's with the spaghetti man?
Yeah, I got nothing, Andy.
PK.
Maybe okay. This man is trying to kill an organized crime boss who eats all the time at this restaurant with a spaghetti man. He's like, "Oh, would you like your dinner, Don Giorgio?" Ah!
So he can. What are you saying? He can control the spaghetti, or the spaghetti is a man, or
yes, he has made a synthetic man out of spaghetti.
So this waiter who is like gesturing, smiling like Luigi with his spaghetti. He has created a synthetic man.
To kill a mob boss.
Okay.
That's the worst plot I've ever heard of. And that's all I got, Andy.
Well, PK, let's find out how close you got. Let's turn the page here and find out.
What if it's like just down to earth, like here's the restaurant, like the restaurant in Sopranos, here's where all the crime lords eat out. But why would there be a man made of spaghetti?
Why is there a man made of spaghetti? Let's find out, PK.
Oh my god. Okay.
We turn to the page. Wealthy restaurateur Aldo Polo was about to die. His last moments on Earth would not be pleasant.
Oh my god, is he a ghost that possesses spaghetti?
PK, there is... describe this panel, if you would, please.
We see a waiter spilling a plate of spaghetti, and a waiter serving a plate of spaghetti. There's a lot of spaghetti going on.
There's a lot of
spaghetti. It all
spaghetti.
looks really good.
Yeah, it's big old healthy mounds of spaghettis.
And like that tight knit noodles that makes you just... Like, you know...
It's angel hair.
We twirl on your fork and be like so much pasta and sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, but also there's Zordon in the top right.
There is a not Professor X floating head, but it is a Professor X floating head.
Oh my
floating
God.
above him, and it is saying to him. I have to say this because you have to do the voice of Aldo Polo. Okay, so.
Aldo Polo's the one talking, right?
No.
Aldo Polo's
the floating head. The floating head has the first line, and it is like kind of you can tell it's like transparent because there are lines going through it.
You can see the wall behind it.
So this voice is saying, Aldo Polo, you should have insured with Third Eye when you had the chance. Things can happen to a man who's not insured. To which
Is this like an ad?
Aldo Polo says, PK, if you would read for Aldo Polo.
I just looked at his speech bubble, dude.
If you would kindly give him the appropriate accent for his speech bubble and profession.
I kind of want to do the high. What's going on? Get out of my head, you.
And Aldo Polo is like a stoutly man. He's got like a little
Bald,
mustache, balding
mustache.
One of his
a little double chin,
yeah. One of his coworkers walks up to him. He's a
restaurateur. He's not a waiter. He's
a restaurateur. He owns the restaurant.
He owns the place.
One of the waiters comes up to him, who's got a slick back black hair.
Oh my God.
Boss, what's the matter? Who are you talking to?
Nothing. Nobody. I'm all right. Now clean that up and get me another plate of synthetic for table 4.
So we go over to the right over here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, wait, hang on. I think it's bottom. Let me find it. The scans get a little weird here.
Yeah, it's hard to follow the...
we go to the bottom here.
Okay.
There is a Star Trek-looking Spock man.
Oh my God, that is Spock with a big snoot.
He's sniffing a big old snooter of wine.
And there's fucking Moon Dragon.
And a bald woman.
Yeah.
Who looks awesome. And Aldo Polo is saying to them as he has a big silver platter kind of thing.
With the
dome.
Yeah,
dome lid.
Those have a name. I don't know there.
What are they called? But
sorry I take us so long. I've got something real special here for you. Right here. You're gonna like this.
And he reveals the floating head again beneath it. Things can happen, Aldo.
Oh my God.
As Aldo freaks out. Oh! One of his boys says, Mr. Polo, and we can see it's just like it's a ham, like it's a spiral cut ham.
Yeah, it's like a nice beef Wellington or whatever. Yeah,
and the couple are like freaking out, but Mr. Polo looks like he's seen a ghost.
Yeah.
Some guy says,
here's that synthetic, Mr. Polo.
Right behind him, and suddenly, what's happening, PK?
The spaghetti is wrapping around his neck and head.
And he says, sweat running down his head.
It's got me. It's a strangle.
And now he's like flailing about, walking towards a balcony, screaming,
help me!
It's only a plate of synthetic, boss. He's having some kind of fit. Restrain him! As his two employees go towards him. But PK, what is he seeing from his side?
The synthetic man.
He's seeing the synthetic man.
Two moving plates.
Very much like swamp things made of
like
spaghetti.
A ghillie suit, but spaghetti.
Yeah.
Just spaghetti men.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're waving their big spaghetti arms out and trying to grab him.
And they're chasing him. We are the synthetic men, and we've come to eat you. As he's like tripping over the edge of
the balcony.
No. But then PK, we turn the page, and what's happening?
There's a taxi right behind the curb.
Taxi, sir? Yeah, there's a taxi right there.
Yes, get me out of here.
But then, PK,
what?
Turns out that taxi is a hologram.
It vanished.
Not real, as he says,
anywhere.
Mr. Polo. And they see, the next panel is the two restaurant, like, the waiters looking down as Mr. Polo just takes a fucking plunge.
Yeah,
and they're saying,
falling.
Did you see that? He just stepped off the tennis.
And the other guy,
They're like, holy shit, this man just committed suicide in front of us. It's kind of weird, now that I think about this, reading it again.
Oh, it's just now weird?
He he was already backing off the ledge. Why do we need a taxi?
Why
double do that? I don't know. Judges were soon on the scene, and we have a judge whose name we can't read talking to Judge Dredd, of course. I'll have you read for him if you'd like.
Squash fired than one of his own.
Try, yeah, PK, you gotta be ready.
What is wrong with these judges?
You gotta be ready for it, PK.
Squash fired than one of his own crepettos, Dredd. Witnesses say he just went stark crazy.
Wealthy restaurateur, sudden unexplained brainstorm. I don't like the smell of this. Scrape him up and run him down to the side division. So PK, he had a sudden unexplained brainstorm. PK,
I got a lot of things going on in my life, Andy.
PK,
I got a little too much.
Dredd is saying, scrape him up, and we'll take him down to side division.
Okay, we had some side division,
But
I was packing up to leave for the viewers.
But PK, scrape him up?
Yeah, dude, he fell. He fell at least 600. He fell 698 floors.
How do you know 698?
Look at the sign.
It is say floor 698, so he was at the top floor. Dude, okay, I know this. From the same height,
there's no way the brain survived.
A cat breaks a leg. A cat breaks a leg, a human breaks every bone in their body, and a horse splashes.
Yeah.
At that height, you're just gonna be pavement pizza.
Yeah, you're
There's
goo.
nothing. Yeah.
There's no brain that survived that impact.
But we're gonna scrape him up, you know?
Why wasn't he holding his hand-activated parachute?
No, okay. This is specifically for fire drills. We've discussed this before.
4 fire drills? Okay.
It is 4 fire drills. At the Grand Hall of Justice, a side division judge...
The Grand Hall of the Justice League.
...confirms Dredd's suspicions. We have a bald judge talking to Judge Dredd. They're looking at, like, a table, which we can only assume has the brain on it.
Yeah,
so whatever's
the
left.
autopsy bed.
He's saying to Judge Dredd...
His mind has been subject to severe psionic interference. Half his pineal cells have been burnt out.
Then it was a mob psych-out.
There are
PK,
psychic mobsters?
PK, if you would read the next panel for me, please, and thank you. Go for it.
There was no force on Earth Mega-Racketeers could not harness for their own use. If they could. Psionic powers, paranormal mental abilities were a goldmine for the Psy-Racket bosses. Most of them had several operators or psychers under their control.
So, PK, there are...
How rare are psychic powers in the Dreadverse?
Maybe we're gonna find out. Let's find out.
If there are enough to be some organized crime, it's a lot more.
So Psy-Racket bosses, most of them have several operators.
How many is several? Is it 2? Is it 7? Is it 100?
We know there's judges. There's an entire judges of Psy division.
But how many are in division?
We don't know. We are not certain about the number of psychers or how common it is. But we know there are psychers. We know that's a thing. For a price, criminals could have the success of their activities accurately forecast. As we see, basically, a group of thugs all wearing trench coats and hats.
These are classic mafia goons.
These look like mafia goons.
Trench coats and fedoras.
There's a guy in a business suit doing the Xavier forehead temple thing.
Yeah, he's rubbing his fucking temples
As he says,
leaning on his elbows.
He says to them,
"Your forthcoming swindle has an 81% chance of success, gentlemen. Watch out for faulty whiz bar on your getaway car, though."
as though that explains anything.
Whiz bar?
Psychers could always get at the truth, as we have two gentlemen pointing at a third who is doing, you know that thing where they like, "Hey, buddy, let's go for a walk." You know,
Yeah, that's just. Come on.
let's go outside.
Boss wants to talk to you.
Yeah. I've scanned their minds. Fingers is the traitor in your gang. He's secretly working for Low Side Louise.
You heard him. Grab the rat.
And the two guys are grabbing him, shuffling.
As like
towards...
a big, bold fucking mob boss points.
Yep.
Stand clear when starting Justice Hall health warning.
Oh, yeah. It's the trunk, basically.
Oh, okay.
They're ushering towards the trunk of a
I thought it
vehicle.
was on the side of a building. I'm like, can the building just fucking take off?
But by far the most lucrative side of the Psy business was protection. And we have an older gentleman who's got like a robe on, like an inner robe. He's got
And a monocle?
And a monocle.
My god, it's the fucking Penguin's dad?
I don't know if he has a
Batman
monocle or not, or if that's just part of the background. I'm not sure. But he's holding like a leaflet brochure, and there's clearly a mobster talking to him.
Pinstripe suit, fedora.
"I'm from the Third Eye Insurance Company. I'm sure you'd like to buy one of our accident policies." To which this man responds,
"I pay you 500 credits a week, and if I have an accident I don't get anything? You've got to be joking."
to which the mobster replies, "Put it this way, bud. If you don't buy one of our policies, you're gonna have an accident for sure."
So, the racket is You pay these people money, or they mess with your brain.
It's protection money.
Until you go crazy and jump off a balcony.
Ba-
Or something similar.
Oh, well, maybe we're going to find out what that something similar is. Let's keep looking. Those who held out were given to a psyker for personal attention. We have a mob boss reading the same pamphlet, or maybe the same guy reading a pamphlet.
Right.
Account number 47333 is still refusing a policy. Give him a warning. Maybe he'll come round. To which another,
A fucking cool-looking guy with his goatee and his slick-back hair.
We never see people with beards in this world.
No, this guy. There's something about this design that
Thick rimmed glasses and shit.
I kind of like this dude. He looks like he'd be like the guy. Yeah,
this is the only panel.
He looks like he'd be the guy in in a Arnold
Professor.
Schwarzenegger movie. This is the guy in the chair.
Yeah, this is the guy in the chair. The guy's saying, he's touching his forehead. The psyker is saying,
"Getting through to them now."
With a psyker interfering with his brain patterns, a series of small accidents would befall the racketeer's unwilling victim. As that same gentleman, now wearing like an outdoor coat, walks into a pole outside. He's, ow! Oh! And then a gentleman who's with him, you just walked into that pole!
I didn't see it. Guess I just wasn't looking.
Those who still refused to see sense were likely to have a serious accident, like Aldo Polo. To which a judge is now speaking to Judge Dredd.
Can't see his name.
Can't see his name.
Any idea whose work this is?
Oh, sorry. That's Judge Dredd saying it to the other judge.
Oh, okay.
Any idea whose work this is?
Almost
PK,
definitely Rex Squeers.
Take your time with this bubble. This particular bubble. Take your time and think about what you're saying.
Okay.
Go for it.
Almost definitely Rex Squeers, Third Eye Insurance's top psyker. We've got no chance of proving it, though a psy-killing leaves... We've got no chance of proving it, though.
It's Rex Squeers.
A psy-killing leaves no evidence.
PK, who's this? Who did this?
Rex Squeers.
How do you know? PK, it's the same bubble. It's the same bubble. They're like, hey.
It just feels like this feels like Rex did
How do
it.
you know it's Rex Squeers?
Rex has a way. He has a way of doing things.
If there's no evidence, you're saying it leaves no evidence. It's definitely Rex Squeers, though. Back at his office, Dredd checked Squeers' file.
Oh, is that microfilm? That's cool.
He's going through microfilm. How many psych-outs does this make for Squeers? It's about time we pinned this creep. He's smart, but he's got a hot temper. Maybe that's my opening. So Dredd coming up with a plan.
Oh, God.
Right? Ready for this plan? What's Dredd's plan going to be?
He's going to feed him to the Emperor.
That's 40K. You're thinking of 40K.
He's going to get Juggernaut's helmet.
No, that is Deadpool versus Wolverine.
Well, it's X-Men.
That's X-Men.
That's
Deadpool
2.
And Wolverine.
Deadpool 2 has Juggernaut.
Okay.
Oh, and he's in Deadpool and Wolverine. You're right.
He's in Deadpool Wolverine, and they have to get his helmet.
It's two different Juggernauts, too.
And they specifically have to get his helmet.
Oh, man, I forgot.
That's the MacGuffin.
You're right.
One of the MacGuffins. What's Dredd's plan? How are you gonna get him? There's no evidence.
There's no evidence. How can you outsmart a psychic?
How do you pin anything on a psychic?
He's got a temper. He's gonna make him so mad he confesses. He's like, oh, these little dumb plans by some idiot psychic. And
That's an idea.
Like, I did it, and it was brilliant, and here's how I did it.
Let's find out.
That's what I would do, but...
Dredd's plan of action began that night. As we see, who we assume to be Rex Squeers, he's opening up his front door, and there's a bunch of judges there and Judge Dredd. Go for Squeers.
Do you know how late it is?
It's never too late for a crime blitz, citizen. Stand aside.
Crime blitz.
We've seen this before.
Is that one that go door to... Isn't that one that go door to door just like searching for criminals?
Crime blitz we have seen
Wasn't
before.
that like in Prague 40?
Crime blitzes we have seen before. Tharg note, see Mega City 1 Criminal Code Section 59D. What we have seen crime blitzes before previously in Battle for the Black Atlantic.
That's right.
When that one guy who was basically helping the Sov City judges.
It's just an excuse like go on a manhunt.
It's basically them shaking someone down.
Yeah.
So they're breaking into his house at night, more or less. And Squeers is not looking happy about this, as the judges are just taking everything apart with hammers in the background.
As he's fucking in his cool smoking jacket.
He's talking to Dredd.
What's the big idea, Dredd? You know I'm clean.
It wouldn't surprise me, creep, but I've still got the authority to check you out.
Because judges have ultimate authority. The judge system is broken.
And Dredd is now like pointing down his finger at Squeers.
Get this straight, Squeers. As far as I'm concerned, you're a vermin. I don't want you in my city. I'm going to hound you and keep hounding you till you take the hint and get out.
And go where?
I mean, space.
Texas City? Space?
Mega City 2?
2?
Yeah, Texas City's Mega City 3.
You're
we confirmed
right.
This.
One of the Sove cities?
Maybe. We know there's other places. When Squeers left next morning, Spy in the Sky cameras followed his every move.
You've seen those before, too?
Also introduced in the Black Atlantic.
Holy
yes.
shit.
And he's looking up and he can just see this fucking, it looks like a mini satellite, basically.
It does. It's really fucking obvious.
It's very obvious. And he's
How
shaking
big
his...
is it? Like a foot long? Or?
I can't quite tell because it's closer in the foreground.
Yeah.
But he's shaking his fist up at it saying,
Rot you, Dredd. Get out of my hair.
Dredd was waiting outside the offices of Third Eye Insurance, and sure enough, there's a brick building. Dredd is waiting there for him with another judge. Shady-looking customer, that. Must be carrying something. Let's check him out. I'm picking you up on suspicion, citizen. Get undressed and stand up against the wall. Strip search! So, PK, they're fucking profiling him.
They are. They are strip searching him in public?
Yeah, and this guy says...
Not you again. Oh, this is Squeers.
This is Squeers.
Not you again. Now wait 1 minute, lawman. Wait one damn minute, lawman.
Save the lip creep. I said strip off. That means now.
It's penis inspection day.
Oh, no.
Whip it out, Squeers. Oh, it's impressive.
No.
Oh,
We see Squeers.
I feel inadequate.
Squeers is walking into Third Eye Insurance.
In his wife beater boxers and oh my god, he has those things that hold up your sock.
He's got the sock holsters.
Holsters?
Yeah. And he's saying to the gentleman there,
Damn that Dredd. He won't humiliate me again.
"Hey, calm down, Squeersy. Don't let him get to you." There's the cool
it's that
professor
guy
guy.
we've seen
Yeah.
before.
Cool professor guy is there. The psycher, other psycher. To which Squeers responds, grimacing.
He has got me, and he's gonna pay for it. So help me, I'm gonna psych that judge right out.
And PK.
Oh, that's the end?
That's the end. That's his setup. That's part one.
Okay. So he's just gonna make him mad enough to. I don't know what Judge Dredd is gonna do in retaliate. I'm not looking.
Yeah.
And I don't have a pop to spill this time.
Good.
But Judge Dredd's plan is to make him so mad he retaliates somehow.
Yeah.
But Judge Dredd has a trap waiting for him.
That's pretty smart, but we don't know what the trap could be.
Okay, I'm thinking about. Okay, so I read this X-Men comic one time.
Okay.
Where it was like X-Men Avengers, and it was there's this kid named Kid Omega who's kind of like this. Upset, like, yeah, mutant power. He's lame. He's wrong, but for the right reasons.
Okay.
He's like he wants mutant equality. He wants all that stuff, but he's so stupid about going about it.
Okay, yeah.
So one time he teams up with Captain America. And it's like you're a sellout, man. You know, you persecute mutants all day. And as a fuck you, Captain America goes, read my mind, Kid Omega. See if you can pin his in the Kid Omega all the time. I could destroy your mind. I could melt your brain. But if it weren't for the peace between mutants and humans, and I would make your brain melt your ears. Captain America turns to his skin and says, "Read my mind. Try it." And he fucking tabs his temples like Professor X and tries to Kid Omega tries to read Captain America's mind. And they go into Captain America's mind. It's like them walking side by side. He goes, "Here's where I keep all my deepest thoughts." And it is protected by the shield.
Yeah.
But it is the size of skyscrapers.
Oh, so Captain America is like heavily shielded in his mind?
His willpower is just so fucking great that he's like, go for it, dude.
Can't do shit against him. I
Yeah.
like that. That's pretty fun.
I do like that. So I'm to bring that back to what I was saying.
Okay.
Maybe that's what Dredd has planned. Maybe Dredd has some kind of implant or something that makes reading his mind impossible. He got Juggernaut's helmet on the inside of his skull.
Okay, that's pretty extreme.
Well, Dredd thinks, if we know anything about Dredd, his plans are either jumping off a motorcycle, faking his death,
or using lights to blind people.
or faking his retirement.
Oh, that's also a thing. Let's go over this Prog 216, PK. Settings and places. We have all those Syntheria, synthetic
For $6.98.
Synthetic pizzeria, you know?
Italian Gardens.
698 floors. I'm writing it down. 698.
Oh, I caught something.
You
I'm
did.
really good.
Well done. We also have Third Eye Insurance, a mob front for the psycho
I also like
rackets.
the reference of third eye, because that's what people say. You have an eye in the middle of your brain. That's where your psychic powers come from.
Put a pin in that shit.
Okay,
I've got
I
that
knew
one
you
for
would reference that.
I've got that for you.
I only knew that through fucking like cultural osmosis.
Characters, we know Aldo Paulo, owner of Aldo's Syntheria. His name...
Synthetic?
Syntheria. Sorry.
Right, where he served synthetic.
His name literally...
Again, it's two words, synthetic and spaghetti, mashed together, that ends in a vowel.
Aldo Polo. His name literally means old chicken.
That's right.
Aldo was
I
old,
was thinking
Polo
of
was
Spanish, because Los Pollos Hermanos, the Chicken Brothers from Breaking Bad.
chicken. Yeah. Nope. Aldo Polo is old chicken.
And that's Italian, because Spanish is a Latin language.
It's a Romance language, yeah. We have Rick Squeers, who is a Third Eye Insurance psyker. Specifically, he's not the head of the psychers.
No,
he is a psyker.
He is under the control of probably someone higher up.
Yep.
How does a psyker? What do you do when your underling is a psyker? There have to be implants.
There has to be some way of controlling them, you're saying?
Yeah, I'm not saying there's got to be some way of them not controlling them, but stopping them from controlling you.
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe... that's a good point. I don't know.
Maybe they all have Magneto helmets or Juggernaut helmets.
Maybe there's some way of blocking psychers we don't know about.
Yeah.
Items, technology of note.
Wait a minute.
Go for it.
Way back when we first saw psychers with like Judge Hershey and Judge Death.
I'll tell you when we first saw a psyker. Our first psyker was in the Cursed Earth.
That's right.
It was the guy. It was. I'm pulling it up.
In the weird, the one village.
It was in the Cursed Earth. I'm pulling it up. And it was...
There was that kid with like the
Dark Autumn.
He had like two left hands?
Novar, yes. 6 fingers.
Six fingers, that's what it was.
Novar.
Novar,
Yep.
right.
Yep, and we know from experience that psychers can have premonitions abilities as well as telepathy. That's effectively it.
I remember Novar. I remember his design was kind of badass.
He did not have 6 fingers, though.
No, he did not.
He's very specific.
They said he did.
Not.
They just don't know how to count.
They just don't know how to count. But items, technology of note. Crepetto. I looked this up.
What? Yeah.
I think it's apparently a dish at Aldo's, including synthetic spaghetti. I am guessing because of the name, it's an Italian version, futuristic version of a crepe.
That's what I thought.
But I could find nothing online for the spelling.
Why do the British make fun of the Italians so much? They're like next door.
I'm guessing it's made up. I don't know. We know that spy in the sky cameras are still used by the Justice Department. First introduced in Prague 128, the Battle for the Black Atlantic. But psychers, we have seen them used most recently in the Judge Child arc.
Yep.
And also in Judge Death with Judge Anderson.
Yep.
Because that's where Judge Death is imprisoned right now, in the body of Judge Anderson. Terrible slang, made-up words, Judge Dredd one-liners. A wealthy restaurateur, sudden explained brainstorm. Fucking brainstorm?
Yeah, what does that mean?
So, if you remember, there was a guy who was named Brainstorm earlier on in like one of the last case files. He was like a guy in the background who just had the name Brainstorm
on his
head.
forehead.
Yeah, we were just like, we loved Brainstorm. He was one of our favorite characters.
That's right.
It's been a while though. I love the line, I don't like the smell of this. Scrape him up and run him down to Side Division. Like, Jesus, Dredd, scrape him up. Like, what are they looking at?
Give him some dignity, dude.
Just like shovel him into this pan.
Get the spatula from his restaurant and peel him up.
Also, we know that the term mob psych out is a mob hit utilizing the power of psychers. Monsters, it's man. But world building. We've got some stuff. Excuse me.
Psychics are back on in the foreground.
Yes, very much so. Side Division judges are capable of determining if a dead person's mind has been messed with, even after death.
They're determining what was it that was burnt out? The pistons?
I'm getting to it.
Okay.
Aldo's brain was subject to severe psionic interference. The side judge mentions that his pineal cells have been burnt out. Okay. So this is actually a really cool reference.
Okay.
The pineal gland is part of the body's endocrine system and secretes the hormone melatonin. Its primary function is to help with your circadian rhythm, sleep cycle, and wakefulness.
Oh, man. I wish I had.
The pineal gland more relevantly, was once referred to as the third eye. So this makes sense in a way that all those pineal cells would burn out through his use of the third eye.
So that he was
It's the
being
gland
assaulted
between your
in the
eye.
pineal gland.
That's cute. Bonus
I
points.
like that a
Bonus
lot.
points. Well done for research, guys. Psi-Racket mob bosses have several psychers on payroll, so these people aren't that uncommon, which is kind of interesting. Again, we don't know what
I don't know
level
the
of
numbers.
commonality.
Is it 1 in 1,000? 1 in 100? 1 in 5?
800 million people. It's got to be some percentage of that. I don't know. We don't know. And does it take training? Are you a natural?
If it's
We don't
1 in
know.
100 million, there are 800 psychics in all of Mega City 1.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be. Very well be, for all we know. Psychers are used for predicting the future, as we've seen in the past with Prophecy of the Judge Child, scanning the minds of fellow gang members for snitches, and for protection rackets where the mob would offer to not interfere in your business so long as you paid up.
Now, how is that the most lucrative one?
It's the least amount of work. Think about it.
That's true. You say
You're just
do it
collecting
or
money. Do it or we do this.
It is the least amount of work. And
Yep.
you probably target the richest people like Apollo Creed.
Aldo Polo.
Yeah.
Apollo Creed. How cool is it that we get the exact same spelling of the word psychers in 40K from
that
here?
we get from Warhammer.
We can't go a podcast without talking about 40K.
I think about Warhammer a lot.
While I'm not sure how the poll person having telepathy equals you can tell the future from a certain percentile,
Wouldn't you just win the lottery? Wouldn't that pay more for less work?
it does stick true to what we know about the psychers in the past, and the side judges concerning the prediction about the Judge Child and prophecy. It sticks to that canon, which I appreciate, but it doesn't explain. Like, I guess they just get visions. You get
Yeah,
visions
you don't
in the
get to
future.
choose when they happen.
Yeah. But I mean, well, they're kind of choosing when they happen, though. They're
Yeah.
like, your particular scheme has
That's
an
right.
81%
chance of success.
I gotta think that's made up.
Yeah, that guy's just full of fucking shit.
I
Watch out for your whammy bar.
what is a whammy whizzy bar? I don't know. I love how in the same panel, hell, the same dialogue bubble, we are told Psy killings leave no evidence, and yeah, there's probably Rex Squeers.
I think it was Rex, though. I would
What?
go harass
How would
him.
you know that? How would anyone know that?
Why would you think that's true?
How do you know the name of the
No,
exact
it's
psyker?
Rex.
How would you? This is so stupid. It infuriates me to no end.
Well,
it's like,
I have an answer for it. It makes perfect sense. And are you ready?
how?
It's a 6-page comic.
It is one bubble, PK.
They have no time to wait.
3 sentences. Sentence 1 says, probably this guy. Sentence 3 is, there's no evidence.
We have no idea.
There's no way of proving it. I love that shit.
The only evidence they had was that he was the result of a psychic attack. There was no way to tie him to Rex. I'm going to give it to him because they have 6 pages every week.
I'm thinking,
Well, actually, no. If this were cinema sins, I would count it as a sin.
I'm going to say this. Maybe Third Eye Insurance operates in a certain sector of Mega City 1.
And that's for Pollo Loco.
Aldo Polo. That's where his Syntheria is. So maybe like, okay, so Rex Squeers is like the preeminent known mob guy for the Psychers in this area. It's probably him.
Right.
Maybe that's it. Benefit of the doubt.
Gustavo Fring was everything to your liking.
Oh my god. Lastly, holy shit. Dredd and the judges really lean into the whole military authoritarianism side of the Justice Department
Which is
here.
something
Like,
we haven't seen in a while.
it's pretty fucked. Like, the judges,
Crime Blitz.
led by Dredd, are basically capable of hounding Squeers, performing a crime blitz on his home in the middle of the night, strip searching him in public under the charge of suspicion? That's the charge. Suspicion. Not for anything.
Suspicion is not a crime.
What charge is that? And mind you, no evidence.
So
no evidence.
when I saw that suspicion thing,
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I've been watching a lot of police audit videos on YouTube,
Okay.
and police all the time will use suspicion as a way to
Just justify anything.
yeah.
Wow.
And the best thing to shoot back with is suspicion is a crime. You have to have a reasonable, articulable crime to ask for my ID.
Yeah.
In the states where they have that, which lucky us, we are in one.
Even then, they can find some fucking way, I'm sure.
So if you're asked for an ID and the suspicion is what they give you, you can shoot back with. You have to have a reasonable articulable cause for suspicion. That's a secondary.
I wouldn't quote us on it.
I wouldn't. Yeah, we're not lawyers.
We're not lawyers.
I just watch a lot of YouTube. Don't quote me on it. But that's what I'm going to do when the cop comes at me
I'm just going to shut
for all
up.
the crimes I do.
I'm just going to shut the fuck up. That's all I do. Don't talk to kids. Don't talk to police, kids.
Don't talk to kids.
Don't talk to kids, police. Don't talk to police, kids.
Kids don't talk to kids.
But that's it. No one talk to anyone.
No one talk.
Death count this issue. Aldo Polo tries to escape the synthetic men by way of an imaginary taxi and takes the short way down from a star scraper. PK, anything else you want to talk about Prog 216?
No, I want to see how it turns out. And that's my guess. I'm putting a pin in it right here.
What's that?
My guess is he makes Aldo mad at him, knowing that Aldo will retaliate, and he has a trap sprung. He has a trap ready for him, and it's going to be a psychic interference
That
node.
traps him or something.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
Or
I can
another,
see that.
or a psychic judge, because we know they have those
You know,
to combat his own psychic powers back.
if a judge was if a side judge was in Judge Dredd's brain when he was attacked by Squeers, he might know.
What if a side judge just puts on Judge Dredd's uniform and Judge Dredd's badge and goes, "Doop doop, it says me, Judge Dredd."
That's a good point. They can.
And they attack him, and he goes, "Boing."
That's an interesting point, PK. You just brought up. I hadn't brought up. Psychers can just know your name and just go after you.
Yeah.
That's insane.
They can look at your bank account and
Oh,
they don't need
It's like, oh, it's Judge Dredd. Let me just like go through. I'll search for a guy who thinks he's Judge Dredd and found him.
they don't have
We haven't.
they don't
heard-
have to make you pay money. They can read your mind and get your bank account information.
They haven't. But like, I'm more concerned about like what are the limitations of psychers? We haven't
Yeah,
heard
right.
distance. Like, we don't need a name, or maybe we need a name. I don't know how much we need to be able to like psych somebody out. That's kind of insane.
Now, if they're orcs,
Oh my god.
they just believe in
it.
something.
They just believe it.
and
That's
it's
it.
true.
Okay. With that, I want to say thank you to all of our people who've been listening and subscribing to us. If you want to tell us about all the stuff we got wrong, say hi. Feel free to email us at dreadfulemailadress@gmail.com. That's DREDDFUL email address with 2 Ds at gmail.com. We would be more than happy with your permission to read your email live on the podcast. And if anyone is listening to this and you find it entertaining, please feel free to comment, subscribe, or,
Gain psychic powers and start a mob.
send us some psychic messages,
Yeah,
whatever.
in our dreams, in our sleep.
Any press is good press. I'll take
Or
anything.
make us jump off a stratoscraper.
I'd pass on that maybe. Stratoscrapers aren't real after all. But that I'll take what I can get.
You're right.
Next time, PK, on the Dreadful Cyber Punk-Cast, more organized Mega City 1 crime. How will Judge Dredd survive when the mob psychers come for him? What will happen when the numbers racket turns into an all-out firefight with mob boss Lumpy?
What?
And perhaps we'll find out even more on the next Dreadful Cyber Punk-Cast. Woo! Mob boss Lumpy.
Lumpy?
That's him, all right. He's coming for you.
Are we gonna do our outro?
That's it.
No, I'm Andy.
I'm Andy.
And I'm PK.
And this has been a very dreadful recording coming to you from
Lumpy!
the distant future.
The distant present.
I'm so bad at this.
Who the fuck are you?